Welcome to the Western Regional Update for EZGO. This is your May update. All right, let's get started. Sales continue to be steady as we approach the halfway point of the year, when we had a change at the top of the leaderboard for the first time this year. Oh, having a stellar May was a crew out there from Pacific Golf and Turf. We have a tie for second with A1 Golf Cars of Arizona and Electric Motorsports. Pulley wasn't too far behind in the 4th spot, and we have another tie rounding out the top 5 with Caddyshack and Golf Cars by Design. I want to take a moment too and recognize the dealers that had a better May than they did in the previous year. So, in no particular order: Electric Motorsports, A1 Golf Cars of Arizona, Pulley, Golf Cars by Design, I-5, Cartmart, Coyote, JJ's, Driven Golf Cars, VIP, JM Precision, Mount Bachelor, Main Street Motors, Smith, Coast Cart, Tucson Golf Cars, and Golf Car Pros. With the current state of competition in the golf car space, it's refreshing to see y'all pushing the needle and really driving sales. And well done to all the dealers in the region. I know that you're out there grinding every day to move that metal, and I do appreciate the hard work and dedication that you guys have for the brand. All right, time for a little housekeeping. Promotions. The feedback was fairly unanimous across the board in regards to pricing and competitiveness. And our senior leadership team has listened, not only with some of the sales events that we are currently promoting, but with an overall adjustment to our pricing strategy for 2025. We're never going to be the cheapest product in this space, but we feel that our quality and our partnership with Samsung justifies that pricing. We can let the competition race to the bottom and see who survives, but we're not going anywhere. And we're going to continue to innovate and drive to be better. National Golf Car Day. Ooh, I'm kind of excited about this. We went to the National Calendar Institution and, pitched our idea, and they accepted it. So here we go. We have National Golf Car Day. It's right around the corner. And I think this is another great opportunity to move some metal. You should have seen multiple emails from me, as well as a corporate email around this day asking for a call to action to host an event. I've also sent out an email around some aggressive pricing that I think will help y'all move some of that metal. Keep in mind, this is what some of the dealers are doing out there, not necessarily what you guys need to do. But by all means, please follow our guidelines and what we're saying in terms of rebates and all that fun stuff. For this program, though, we are requiring an invoice. Understand that the end customer may want to add some accessories, and the vehicle may not be delivered in the time frame of the promotion. So please send me your dated invoice from the sale, and I'll make sure that you receive that additional rebate for this promotion. Please note that you do have to have a qualifying order in place to receive some of these rebates. Based off of timing, keep in mind, though, that you will likely not see any vehicles until August. It's kind of a time frame. Just again, a friendly reminder, factory is shutting down for July. So if you don't have an order in the system, you likely won't see a new vehicle till August. All right, let's talk Rolex. Leads are up. We get the sales data from Rolex and they share it with us, and we can see that leads are up when we compare it to this time last year. As I've mentioned before, customers are taking their time. They're shopping online before making a decision. And as you're all very well aware, there's a lot of competition out there. So I think it's imperative that you are responding to these leads, as well as making sure that your website is up to date. Please make sure that you have posted all of our promotions and doing everything that you can to generate more traffic to your site. Rolex quotes. Nationally, we're seeing 90% of our dealers quoting at MSRP or higher. To me, I think that's just kind of lazy. That's just clicking a button and making sure that the lead doesn't get rerouted. You guys got to be more aggressive when it comes to these type of leads. Remember, according to Rolex, we have the highest closure rate out of any segment that they support. Okay. RV, power sport, boats, we win. And if we're seeing this increase in leads, we should be going after them as aggressive as possible, right? We want to make sure that we're including that promotion, whatever it may be. Add one of your own, right? Review the lead before sending out that quote. Double check that you're including any promotions that we're running and that vehicle qualifies for, and send it out. Follow up. This is the time where it's not like it was a couple of years ago, right? We have to do the follow up. We got to make the phone calls. We got to put forward that extra effort to get those sales. So it's a little bit more work than it was, in years past when the doors are just swinging open all the time, and you're like, well, if you want this red car, I have red. That's all I have. I understand you might want blue. I got red, and people would buy it. A little bit different now. Our customers are doing some shopping. There's obviously more competition out there, and they're doing their due diligence. So I think it's important that we're educating the customer on a couple things. One, why EZGO is better, and two, we got to be more aggressive with our pricing when we have those promotions to take advantage of. As a reminder, these promotions do expire July 31st. So let's make sure that we're doing everything that we can to take advantage of these opportunities. All right. I had an interesting conversation with one of our new dealers in the north. I reached out and asked how things were going and what was working well for them. This dealer went on to tell me about the most recent unit that they sold, and he did say that the margins were a little bit thin on the unit, but he more than made up for it with the accessories that he added after the fact. If I remember correctly, it added an additional $6K to the vehicle. And I think this is a great example of what we should be doing. We talked earlier throughout the year rather of different ideas and strategies behind the sales process in your dealership. Now, again, I know that everybody's dealership is not the same, and this is more of a blanket statement, but I think there's some good ideas behind it. We talked about the sales triangle, making sure that customer is introduced to the different aspects of your dealership, right? If you have multiple people working there, then it's introducing them to your service guy. It's introducing them to the parts guy. It's introducing them to the sales manager if you have a sales manager. It's getting that personal touch that is really going to help your dealership win at the end of the day. I've said that probably more times than I care to remember, but people tend to buy from people that they know or trust, right? So everybody wants to be able to say, I've got a guy, right? I've got a guy who's going to take care of you. I got a gal that's going to take care of you. Hey, you need to go see Tony over at blah, blah, blah dealership. He's going to take care of you. He takes care of me. Tell him I sent you. He's going to take care of you. So, providing that experience does a lot of different things. It helps these customers come back. They're going to send you referrals. They're going to come to you when there's something wrong with their vehicle, right? That you're going to be the first phone call they make. They're not going to call the dealership, down the street that's selling off brands. They're calling you guys and making sure that you can help them and support them. But they need to know who those people are. And I think that's kind of part of the process, right? When we have the opportunity to upsell and really kind of make the vehicle theirs, right? Most of these people that are buying golf cars, they're having fun, right? This is not a mandatory purchase for these folks. They're out there spending the money and they want it to be theirs. And it's, I think, the job of the dealer to really make that experience unique, memorable, and obviously making them a cool car that they're going to be able to show off to their friends that's theirs. And there's a lot of different things that we can do to customize them, from wheels and tires to seat options, to adding a cooler, to different paint, to enclosures. I mean, the list is pretty deep on some of the things that we can do there. I didn't even touch on sound bars and sound systems. I mean, some of you guys out there do some crazy stuff with sound systems, and it's cool. And it's giving that customer that experience and knowing that, what, from the dealership side, you're going to make a little bit more money on that parts and accessory because there's more margin in those. We all know that. And I just think that some of us are missing that opportunity. Not everybody. I think there's a lot of dealers that do some good stuff out there, but I think that if you're introducing these customers to, I don't know, maybe a parts catalog, maybe make up one, right? Or custom paint. Some of these folks are gonna want to do it. They don't want to have the same vehicle that their buddy Bob has down the street. They want something that's unique in their own. Not everybody, but there's a good majority of those people are out there. Some of the folks that maybe are good with the basic cookie cutter stuff, there's still things that you can add there. Under seat storage is a great example, right? Upgraded wheels and tires are another good example. For the golfing community, you're looking at coolers and sand bottles and different things like that, and club and ball washer. So there's a lot of options that we have to make sure that we're discussing, and that's part of the sales process, right? That question-based selling that we've talked about before is getting to know what that customer is really looking for and taking all of the options and narrowing it down to the one that's going to best fit their needs, right? You're not going to give an L6 to somebody that's going to be using it specifically for golf, right? So you have to ask those questions and figure out exactly what they're looking for, and I think that's part of the process. And getting them introduced to the different parts of the business is also part of it. I talked to some of you about different programs out there, right? There's some seasonal markets within my region, and I think that finding a program where you're either winterizing or summarizing, yeah, you get it, a vehicle is a good service option, right? Create that preferred network of a preferred service member, right? Create a program like that. Everybody has something like that. You earn points or something, and you can keep track of the sales, and you get to a certain amount, maybe you get a discount, right? Or maybe it's they buy into this preferred customer list, and they're now a preferred customer, so they get priority. So they get priority when it comes to service. But I think that finding the vehicles and going, okay, hey, there's certain things that need to be done to store the vehicle in some of these places where owners aren't there all the time. Snowbirds are a great example. Is have that vehicle stored for them, obviously for a fee, and then getting it prepped. Right? Say, hey, we'll store it for you, and then we'll deliver it to you when you're back in town. We'll make sure that it's clean. We'll make sure that the tire pressure is great on everything. Battery terminals are clean. Batteries are checked if it's flooded lead acid. Service and oil change is done if it's a gas car. So there's different things I think that you can packages that you can create that will set yourself apart. And I also think that's another good way to have another revenue stream if we're creating these different services. So I think there's a lot of different creative ideas out there and things that we can be doing to make sure that we're getting our name out there, having that great reputation, which ultimately will lead to more sales. And I think that's what we're looking for at the end of the day. It's more sales, moving the metal. We're doing a great job. I know that it's a tough year. It's a little bit more challenging than I think we've seen in years past. But it's really exciting to see you guys all, push hard and really promote the product. Websites are another thing that I kind of touched on a little bit. Let's make sure those websites are up to date, because like I said, people are out there shopping. They're going from dealership to dealership. And in certain areas where there's more than one game in town, they're checking your website first. They're going to have an idea of what your dealership has before they enter the door. And I think it's important that, specifically, at least until July 31st, that we're promoting all of the promotions that you possibly can on there. So they understand that, hey, you know what? I know it says that this car is $15K, but what does that include? And then you got to put that little extra sticker on there. And I know that some of the website services, specifically DealerSpike, can do it. You can put that little, hey, there's an additional $2,000 off, or whatever the case may be for this vehicle. So make sure that you guys are doing that and looking into it. It's a little bit time consuming, but I'm telling you, those customers are looking for it. They're going from website to website. They're searching for a local golf car dealer. And if you have a great website, they're more likely to come to you than if you don't. I will say that pretty close to 99% of the dealers in my network all have great websites. There's a couple out there that I think need a little bit of a love, a little bit of attention, but for the most part, you guys are doing a great job in promoting it. We just need to make sure that we're staying on top of it, right? Making sure the inventory is live and accurate. We're not missing anything, because if you have the car and it's not listed on your website, they're moving on to that website that has it. Inventory promotions again are another huge thing that got to make sure that we're leveraging those and keeping that in the forefront of the customer's mind. And email blasts. Don't be afraid to send out a little email blast. To your customer base about some specials. Run some service specials. Get creative. Think of, hey, run a tire special. If there's somebody out there that needs some tires, they may not realize that they can come see you for tires. So send out that email blast and say, hey, we got a tire special this month. It's whatever it is. Run the numbers and make sure that it makes sense. Along with obviously National Golf Car Day and all the other promotions. And to that, excited to see the new 2025 pricing. I think that we're moving in the right direction. And I think that I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic as always about closing out this year strong. I think we're going to do a good job. You guys are hustlers and really doing everything you can to move it, and it's definitely appreciated. And let's continue that momentum through the remainder of Q2 and close out the year as strong as we possibly can. As always, if you have any suggestions or topics that you would like me to cover, please reach out and then holler if you need anything.